Alright guys, so this video is to take you through installing, or I should say setting up the 5-channel amp into your amp rack. I'm assuming that you also purchased our amplifier power kit, which you really need as well. Here you can see we've got the screws, bolts also that are included with the amp rack that are going to help you to get this amplifier mounted to the rack. First thing Hector is doing here is inserting the plastic grommets. They'll help protect the power wire from any sharp edges on the amp rack. The next thing he's going to do here is open up the amp kit and take out all the parts that we need. Your kit also includes some Allen wrenches. That's going to make it a lot easier to get it installed. Alright, so the next thing is we're going to place the amplifier on the amp rack. Then using a Phillips screwdriver, we're going to force the screws into the plastic feet. They're made to fit a little bit, they're made to fit snug. So you got to give a little bit of force and they'll pop right in there. Now in the next step, he's going to take the flange nut. Let me zoom in here. Alright, so here you can see the flange nut has the teeth. It helps to grip. Now he's going to take the flange nut, feed it up from the bottom, take his Phillips screwdriver, and then tighten them down just snug. You're going to make sure to leave a little bit of playroom. We'll come back and tighten them completely down after we have all 4 screws in place. Be sure to repeat the same step for the other screw. Tighten it up just snug. Alright, the other side of the amp is a little bit trickier, so be sure to grab the screw you see here along with the washer, and you're going to be feeding it upward from the bottom of the amp rack. Alright, so a quick little tip. Here you can see that Hector screwed, only pushed the screw far enough in where you can start seeing the threads on the other side. This is going to make it a little bit easier for you to put the nut onto that screw. Alright, so with a pair of needle nose or tweezers, hold the nut in place and then screw the bolt in from the bottom and it'll tighten right up. Here's a quick tip. If you use the amplifier box to help prop the amplifier out of the way, or the amp rack out of the way, it makes it a lot easier to get to the screws and the bolts. Alright, so now be sure to go back, tighten everything back up, and our next step we're going to be installing the fuse holder along with the fuse and installing the wiring. Using the screws you see here along with the flange nuts, feed the screws from the top to the bottom, put the flange nut down below, and be sure to tighten it up. Make sure to get it snug, but don't break anything. In this next step, you're going to strip away some wire, just enough that'll fit into the fuse holder here, using a razor. Then take the Allen wrench that's included with your amp kit, loosen up the bolt, insert the wire that you just stripped away. Be sure to tighten it up really well. Don't break anything, but you need to be sure you have a really good snug connection. It's best to wiggle it and then tighten it down one more time to ensure you're getting a good tight connection. Next, using the Allen wrench that's included with your amplifier, you're going to loosen up the set screw and make sure you connect the positive to the 12V on your amplifier. One says negative, one says 12V. Be sure to connect it to the correct one. Here's a close-up so you can see exactly which one it goes into. Then repeat the same step. Tighten it up, wiggle, and give it one more, and make sure to tighten it. You want to make sure all your connections are really snug and tight to avoid any problems. Also, you want to be sure you can't see any copper sticking out of the amplifier on any of your connections. Alright, so in this next step, we're going to take the negative wire, feed it up from the bottom of the amp rack, then we're going to connect it to your amplifier. Be sure to connect it to the negative connection on your amp. We're going to zoom in here just so you can get a quick view of where the positive and negative connect into the amp. Alright, so in this next step, we're going to install the 60 amp fuse that's included in the power kit. Using the included Allen wrench, be sure to loosen up the set screws, insert the fuse, and tighten it up. Alright, so go back through, make sure every connection is tight, make sure that you do the wiggle test on everything, and then in the next part of the video series we'll show you how to get it all hooked up.